It's about focusing on the fight and not the fright. A very warm welcome to all the students, teachers, and our guest of the day present here. I, Muskan Puri, the business plan head on behalf of Enactors Shivaji College, thank you all for joining us today on this endeavor we are going to undertake today. Considering October as the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we took the opportunity to discuss and aware the youth about a disease which is pretty common but still unknown: breast cancer. Before that, I would like to tell you a little bit about us. Shivaji College is a premier institution in West Delhi, accredited by Grade A by NAC. It was ranked as one of the top 10 science colleges of the country in the survey conducted by India Today in 2017. With the mission of transform one life, transform the nation, we have the vision to produce generation of optimistic, resourceful, committed, and passionate future leaders who will continue transforming the society. Under the learning and motive of this prestigious institution lies our society, Enactus Shivaji. Enactus is an international organization working rigorously towards the improvement of society with inspiring students all over the world to come up, innovate, create, and act as a team against all the problems existing in the society. Working on the same lines, Enactor Shivaji works towards creating dreams into reality by various projects and campaigns dedicated solely towards creating a better future. We have undertaken several steps to make the society sustainable and the world well off. One such step is Project Sana, wherein we produce reusable, affordable, and eco friendly sanitary napkins. We have impacted over 1,000 lives and aim to bring changes to many more. Believing in the saying that cancer is just a word and not a sentence. We have with us today our honorable speaker, Ms. Neeti Likha Chhabra. Welcome, ma'am. She is the founder and owner of Yes to Life and a renowned TEDx speaker. We are very obliged to have you here today, ma'am. We also have with us Ms. Rashmi and Ms. Sumita to assist us today. We hope you would like our session and find it very fruitful. Before starting with the session, I would like to provide some protocols for all. Please keep your audios on mute and videos on to have an interactive yet smooth session. All the questions will be taken at the end during the Q&A session. If you have any query, kindly put the same into the chat box given. All the participants are requested to attend the full webinar as the certificates will only be provided to those who are present throughout the session and have filled the feedback form. Finally, I would like to transfer the spotlight to our speaker for today, Ms. Neeti Likha Chhabra, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Team Enactors, for having me over. And I really hope that all of you sit through the session, not only for the certificate, but that you find it that good that you sit through the whole session. That's very, very important. All right. So a little introduction about me. In what capacity am I talking to you today is that I am a breast cancer survivor, and a little to share as to, how did my diagnosis happen and my journey thereafter. Whenever I do a session in a physical setting, I usually ask everybody if they have ever done a self breast exam, and at least around 90% of the females say no. And I was amongst one of them. I had never ever done a self breast exam. Somehow, cancer seemed to be a very filmy bimari to me, like something that they only show in the movies. Okay, so anytime that the doctor says aapke paas zyada time nahi hai, bang, it's cancer, right? Or if they have to show somebody dying, to create pity, arouse sympathy, it's going to be cancer. And thankfully there's no family history, so my focus had never ever gone towards doing any screening for myself or even doing a self breast exam for that matter. But I was lucky that the lump that I found was on the surface of the breast. I was 31 years old then. This was back in 2012. And I thought that the lump was related to periods, since around periods, there are a lot of hormonal changes that happen. There are times when we feel cysts or heaviness or pain. And I slept over it for whole 2 months, thinking that it will go away since it's related to periods. But it didn't, of course. And then suddenly I got very tense and I had a very strong feeling that there's something extremely wrong. I was so naive. I didn't know what kind of a doctor to go to. I didn't know that somebody as a breast surgeon even existed. So I actually Googled to see what kind of a doctor to go to if you have a breast lump. And we found a doctor. I got an appointment for a week later. And I remember in that 1 week, my sister is in US and I spoke to her about hair fall, breast removal, like whatever I could think of related to breast cancer. That is the amount to which I had this surety, that it's going to be cancer. Anyways, we went for the first round of investigation. That was an ultrasound. And the report said that the lump was benign. So obviously me and my husband were ecstatic. I remember I shouted on top of my voice that, yay, I don't have cancer. And we celebrated the whole day. And, so professionally, I'm a professor. And while we were on our way to the ultrasound center, I told my husband that I'm going to buy a sari today. And, if it comes out to be cancer, then I'll keep it as an inspiration to join back work wearing that sari. And if I don't have cancer, then I'll wear it whenever the blouse gets ready. Then it's just a celebration that there's no cancer. So we were like very ecstatic and I bought that sari and everything. But thankfully for us, the doctor also said, that since it's a breast lump, you should not take any chances and just get an FNAC done, which is a fine needle aspiration test. They put a needle inside and, take out some liquid. We got the test done and forgot about it because, we were worryless since we already had a report saying that it was benign. I remember I was at my institute when I got a call from the center saying that please come and, collect your report with your husband. So that rang all the bells, who really calls you to firstly tell you that the report is ready? And secondly, if you're being called with your husband, you know that it's not going to be good. My husband, but, on the whole way to the FNAC center kept on telling me, that I really wish that they've taken the sample wrong. I really wish that they're calling you, to do the test again, because somewhere inside he also knew what the news was going to be, but I can understand how much he must be wishing for it to be not true. We reached there and we were told that I had cancer. And I was kind of, prepared about the news. And immediately after that, we left from the center to go to my parents' place to break the news to them. And the only worry that I had throughout that journey till my parents' place was that how will I break this news to my parents? And this is what I kept telling my husband throughout, because I feel that hearing the news of you yourself having cancer is easier to digest than hearing news of having cancer for somebody else. And especially for a parent to know such a news about the child, like that was my only worry on the way home. We went there and I told everybody, and I remember I was the one who's consoling everybody, including my sister, my, husband. I was hugging them and telling them that don't worry, it will be okay, fine. I somehow had a very deep faith that this is just a phase. I mean, even before I knew the stage, even before the rest of the investigations were done, I somehow had this very, very strong faith. And I think that is one foremost thing that kept me going. Like I knew that, there would be difficulties, and whatever notion we have about the treatment and everything was not good, of course. But I told everybody, that let's just take it as a phase. Let's just keep, very positive around the whole situation. And let's not think about ifs and buts, because, once you start to think, agar ye ho gaya, agar wo ho gaya, that is where the problem starts, right? And my family, all of us believe in that energy creation also. So we as a family decided that we are going to have a very, very positive mindset, not think, ki kya hoga, zinda bhi rahoge, nahi rahoge, because that is one fear which people automatically just, associate when you say the word cancer. I know of people who have actually fainted in the doctor's office when they got the news that they had cancer. वो क्यों था? आप वायरल सुन के बेहोश नहीं होते, आप फ्रैक्चर सुन के बेहोश नहीं होते. But why on listening cancer? Because you directly associated with death. कि the first question that comes to your mind is मेरे पास कितना time है. So thankfully, since that didn't come to my mind, I think that has been a very big blessing for me to take this in the right way that I did. And anyway, so from there a new journey began. I underwent the treatment. As a part of the treatment, I underwent mastectomy, which means that one side of my breast was removed. Though my, the cancer was diagnosed at an early stage. I'm not going into technicalities of it, but there were some reasons because of which, the doctors thought that in my case, the breast should be removed rather than just the portion. So while we are on, okay, that was followed by chemotherapy, followed by hormonal treatment that got over in December 2018. One of the things that I would like to highlight here is that not every breast cancer surgery actually results in losing a breast. ये हम लोगों के बहुत सबके साथ में एक fear होता है, especially of older ladies who may be knowing better about it, that breast cancer will lead to losing a breast. It is not like that. If cancer is diagnosed at an early stage, then most likely there would only be a small portion of the lump that will be taken out and rest of the breast remains intact. That is a breast conservative surgery. Mostly when cancer is being diagnosed at later stages, is there a need to remove the whole breast? Okay, so as early as possible, the cancer is diagnosed, easier is the treatment, high and higher are the chances of the breast remaining there intact. Of course, just the lump will be removed to remove the cancer from the breast, but rest everything remains in place. So that is how it all happened. And so, when my diagnosis happened, I told my husband, that I'm going to resign from my job because I only wanted to focus on being well. I did not want that tension on my mind, that when would I be able to join, because I didn't know how the treatment would go. I didn't know how much time will it take me to recuperate from the treatment. While I know of so many women who have continued to work while their treatment, and I really, really applaud them. But I somehow thought, that I wanted to take it a little easy, go through the treatment, be fine, and then join back wherever. So I resigned from my job. While, my treatment was going on. So at the time when I was diagnosed, my son was 3 years old at that time. And like I told you, that I never went into ifs and buts of it. But the only time that I felt fearful was when I thought about my son, and that was also a selfish thought. It wasn't like who will take care of him, because thankfully I have a very loving family and I knew that, he would be well taken care of. But my point was that I wanted to be alive and I wanted to be with him to see him grow. So whenever I had this fear, whenever I thought about him, I had this mechanism. So me and my husband want to settle down in Goa finally, for sure. So I would start to think, that it's me, my husband, our son, his wife, their children, all chilling at a beach in Goa, So I had kind of struck a chord with God, that I'm going to be up and kicking by then. And every time that I would visualize this, I would start feeling very positive and that fear would go out. But during my treatment, I met a lot of other women who were being diagnosed around my age, who had very young kids, but their cancer had been diagnosed at very later stages. And it gave me a lot of pain to think that how much tension or fear they may be having, and how, if their cancer had been diagnosed early, would their quality of life been much better in the future to come. And at another time, during my investigations, I once went to a government hospital and I saw the plight of the patients there, who were lying on the floor. They were waiting for their turns for chemotherapy to come. And I knew that the treatment is not easy. So that again gave me a lot of pain to see, that while undergoing such a difficult treatment, this is how they have to wait, this is where they have to be. While I know that the hospital is doing its best that it can, but cancer burden in India is so high that I decided that, if there's something that is really giving you pain, it's time to do something about it rather than just feel sorry about those people, or just comment about, how the government is dealing with things or what is going on in the society, because all of us have certain responsibilities. So I decided to not to go back to a full-time job. First 2-3 years, starting 2013, so my NGO, which is called Yes to Life, I started it, I founded it in 2014. And from 2013, for 2-3 years, I joined, 2-3 different universities as a part-time faculty. And I started Yes to Life. But around 2-3 years into it, I realized that there was so much more that I wanted to do towards the cause, that I was still, not satisfied by the amount that I was putting in, that I left my job, my career completely. It's been a couple of years now, and I have been devoting my full time to Yes to Life. So I'll now start to share the slides with you, and I'll also share a little about the work that we do. Okay. So our motto is screen, sensitize, support are three pillars of hope. In screening, we do breast cancer awareness talks across schools, universities, corporate slums, factories, everywhere, which are free of charge, just like that we are having one today. Whenever we do a awareness talk in a factory or in a slum, we make it a point to follow it up with a free cancer screening camp for those people, because we know that they will not, take out time or take out money to go get themselves screened. So we take screenings to them. Uh, we do 2 to 3 big, breast cancer awareness sessions in a year, which are for, larger public, larger audience. So this year, of course, we've not done, keeping in mind the pandemic situation. But the last one that we did was in November 2019, last year, which we did with Delhi Metro. And we were present at 10 different metro stations over a period of 10 days. And we were able to reach out to more than 12,000 commuters. So such events we keep on doing around 2 to 3 every year. Then sensitization, I think most of us might be thinking, that when we're talking about sensitization, it's more so required when we're talking about rural India or, people who are not educated. But trust me, it is equally an issue with the educated people as well. So, like I personally know of so many people, whose either husband or in-laws or parents kind of told them to not divulge the news of them being diagnosed with breast cancer with anybody. So in India, cancer is still considered a taboo at many places. And if it is of the breast, it is even a bigger problem, because supposedly breast is only a sexual organ. So how can a woman really go out and talk about it? And this is to the extent, that I remember once I had gone to a factory to do a breast cancer awareness talk. And I asked those ladies, generally while I was about to tell them how to do a self-breast exam, that all of you must have, touched your breasts. And, they started looking at each other. And after a lot of shy giggling, ki kha kha here and there, most of them said no. And I was surprised. I asked them that, how do you even take bath, if you haven't touched your whole body? One of them actually stood up to show me. She said that I take, that we apply soap till here and then till here. So they were so embarrassed of their own bodies that they would not even touch their breast to apply soap. And I literally had to remind them, like most of them were married women, that you are married women, you have a relationship with your husband, you're letting your husbands do whatever, but you yourself can't touch your body. Like that's the level of embarrassment that we have around our own body. And even in our educated households, I know so many households wherein what we do is that once we wash clothes and we have to dry the laundry, we either pick up a back rope and dry women laundry on it, wherein it will not be seen to anybody, or we dry it under a towel or a dupatta so that nobody can see it. While men's underwear, they're like proudly hanging on the front row, right? Now, the idea here is not to put out your laundry on a purpose on a front row for everybody to see. But the point is that why should it be a strategy in our mind, कि हमें अपने कपड़े पीछे डालने, बाकी हम कहीं पे भी डाल दें. That is only because that's the level of embarrassment that we have related to our own body or the clothes that we wear. I mean, everybody knows the anatomy, everybody knows what all we wear. The point is that why should it even come to our mind that where should our clothes be put and where should other clothes be put, right? And the reason why I'm talking about this is that I have seen so many cases being diagnosed at later stages only because they were too shy to talk about changes in the breast with other people. One, they did not think that they could go to the doctor themselves. Two, they didn't feel free enough to even talk about it to their family members. And three, at times they're shy enough if they know that they will have to go to a male doctor. So there are a lot of inhibitions, when we talk about our own body, and that is why this is so important. And when I talk about sensitization, it is also to do with, how people do not want to let others know that they have breast cancer or, that their family members have breast cancer. So sharing with you, a small example. So there's a colleague of mine, Shruti, in Yes to Life. She got diagnosed, at around the same time, like her diagnosis happened, I think 2 months before mine. And that is how we rather met. So the day when she was supposed to have her surgery for cancer done, there was a family wedding. And somebody told her mom-in-law, that don't tell anybody that she has, surgery for cancer, because she would not be able to attend the wedding. Tell everybody that she had a miscarriage. Now, how is having a miscarriage better than having a surgery for cancer? But that is what we have in mind, that somehow when it comes to cancer, you're not supposed to talk about it to people. And that is where sensitization becomes so important. And I really hope that all of you who are attending today's session will not only keep these things to yourself, but talk about it to people. Then in support, what we do is that there are 3 kinds of support systems that we provide. One is emotional support. So we have a support group that has around 125 cancer warriors. We also do support seminars around 2 to 3 in a year. And we also do one-to-one counseling. Then is financial support. So of course, to people who cannot afford the treatment on their own, we've been helping a lot of patients, financially, both for their investigations and for their treatment. And last but not the least is rehabilitation support. So like I said, that in some cases, the women have to lose a breast to cancer. And so we have this kit in place that we call as Sathi kit. It has one artificial prosthesis. So to share with you, even in cases, where where the breast has to be removed, there are ways to take care of your own body image. One way is that there is an artificial breast that comes into place, which is called as a prosthesis. If you put that prosthesis inside your bra, it gives you exactly the same shape and the same size as that of your normal breast. So except for you and your partner, nobody outside would get to know, that the person is not having a breast or has, had to lose a breast to cancer. So it is not that losing a breast to cancer, you cannot get your body shape back or you cannot socialize. Then there's an option to get reconstruction done. Okay, so the whole breast can be reconstructed. So there are ways and means to take care of your body image. So as a part of rehabilitation, this Sathi kit that we have, it has one artificial breast that is a prosthesis. It has 2 special mastectomy bras, a headscarf because of the hair loss that happens during chemotherapy, and a pair of earrings, which is just to make them feel special and beautiful and to let them know that it's still okay to, get ready, go out and socialize with people. So we've been distributing this kit absolutely free of cost to women from lower income group across hospitals like AIIMS, Rajiv Gandhi, Dharamshila, and a few other hospitals. So these are just a few pictures from the work that we've done, some of the awareness talks. These are all from the screening camps. This picture I specifically want to show you. These all ladies are from our, the support group that is called Happiness Surrounds Us, and they are all breast cancer winners. Okay, so this is just to show you that life after cancer can be there. It is very much there, and I can vouch for myself and for many others that our life has become more beautiful post cancer. You start to understand the importance of life. You understand what is important for you. You start to make the right choices. You start to take better care of yourself. You're able to take care of stress much better. So life automatically becomes more beautiful, right? It just matters that what is your outlook towards your life during the treatment and post it. But all of these women are looking healthy, beautiful, smiling. So this is just to tell you that it is not a death sentence. And rather, breast cancer is one form of cancer that can be cured if diagnosed early. So the only need is to be aware of your own body, and that's about it. That is what is important here. Some of the patients that we've helped through their treatment. So this is the Sathi kit that I was talking about, and the items on the left that we provide in the kit. These are some of pictures from our support seminars and from awareness sessions. So what are the goals of the talk? One is, of course, to reduce fear. 2 is separate facts from myths. So there are a lot of myths surrounding what kind of bras to be worn. Do certain kinds of bras lead to a higher chance of having breast cancer? We'll talk about that. I'll tell you how to do your own self-breast exam, and also what screening should be done as per the age in question. Now, while in India, the incidence is still lower than some of the other countries like the US and China, but the mortality rate is much higher, which means that for every two new women diagnosed with breast cancer, one of them dies. The reason is that around 50 to 60% of women are still being diagnosed in later stages of breast cancer. Why is that? One is lack of awareness, so a lady may find that there's a change in the breast, but may not know that she needs to show to a doctor. Two, shyness on part of patients. I think I've covered that. Perceived social stigma, I've covered. Then incomplete investigation or ignorance of some doctors. Now, even in my case, had we stopped after getting the ultrasound done, I would have had to go for another round of investigation. But by that time, the cancer would have gone to a higher stage, right? And it has also happened with people, that maybe because of young age at which these girls went to the doctors or some reason, the doctors felt, that the lump is of no consequence in terms of malignancy, and they were sent back. But since it was cancer, after a few months, it was diagnosed, and the stage had gone higher. So what I'm trying to say here is that as women, we are very, very intuitive, okay? If you feel that there's a change in the breast, please show to a doctor. If you are not satisfied by what the doctor is telling you, go and seek a second opinion or get an investigation done. But your peace of mind here plays a very, very important role in not letting go of anything that your focus should go on, just go like that. And breast cancer, like I also got it at 31, which I think is relatively a young age only, to be diagnosed with breast cancer. We also know of a lot of girls being diagnosed in their 20s now. So while yes, the incidence is much higher in older women, but it is becoming more and more common even in younger women. So all of us need to be aware. Then myths and alternative treatments. This is specifically in India that a lot of us want to try out either naturopathy or homeopathy or Ayurveda or some other mode of treatment rather than take the conventional treatment. Now, in my experience of whatever years of work that I've put in this, starting from 2012 till today, I have not seen anybody's cancer being cured completely only by these alternative therapies. So my suggestion is always, while I have full respect for all of these treatments, to have your conventional treatment and side by side have all of these treatments as complementary therapies rather than alternative treatments. Because yes, these therapies can improve your immunity for future. These therapies can help the patient to take care of a lot of side effects, right? But my suggestion is all conventional treatment and not to only go by these complementary therapies. And last but not the least is can't happen to me. So this is something, that my treating doctor shared with me. She said that she has had patients, whose lumps were so big that they were literally oozing out of the breast, It's not something that they could have ignored. And then they were asked कि आप पहले क्यों नहीं आए, since you could see कि आपका lump कितना बड़ा है. So they said कि अरे मैडम, बट हमें तो हो ही नहीं सकता था, हमने तो इतनी सेवा की है सबकी. But trust me, I'm a good mother, sister, daughter, friend, wife, everything, it still happened to me. Because breast cancer or cancer can happen to anybody, irrespective the type of person that you are. किसी को वायरल होता है, so do we think कि नहीं मैंने तो पिछले हफ्ते अपने सबसे बहुत अच्छे से बात किया, I can't have viral in this week. No. If you have a fracture, you call your friends कि come write on my cast, it's like a enjoyment thing, like you're proud of it maybe. But somehow when it comes to cancer, things automatically start to build up around karma, अच्छे कर्म है तो cancer नहीं होगा, बुरे कर्म है इसलिए cancer हुआ. But my point is that then why not have every other thing linked to it? Why just have one ailment, one disease linked to karma, which is stopping people from getting the support that they need. And even if somebody, does believe कि ठीक है, कर्मा है, but हमने तो कुछ गलत नहीं किया, then maybe go back to previous janams, for all you know. But the point is that nothing should be stopping you from getting the treatment done, whatever you're thinking or whatever your ideology is. So how does, I hope that all of us know what cancer is. Cancer means that when the cells in the body starts to multiply, right, without control. Now, for everybody, there is at least one time in a lifetime that such things happen. But for those of us whose immunity is very strong, the cancer cells stop to multiply. uncontrollably. For those in immunity low hai, the cancer cells, they continue to multiply and it forms a tumor. Now the tumor may be malignant or not malignant, okay? But if somebody has cancer or breast cancer, then how does it usually progress? Now, most of the cancers start in ducts. If you can see in the diagram, ducts are very small, they're thin pipes. These are the pipes that carry milk from the glands to the nipple at the time when the woman is lactating, okay? Now, if cancer is being diagnosed at the time when the cells are only present in the ducts, it is usually a stage 0 or a non-invasive breast cancer, wherein it is only that part that is removed, and in most cases, even chemotherapy is not given to the patient. Okay, this is the type of breast cancer that Tahira Kashyap had, if you may have read about her maybe 1 or 2 years back, who is Ayushmann Khurrana's wife. Okay, now if breast cancer is not diagnosed at that stage, then cancer cells from the ducts can start to move out from the ducts and go in the tissue of the breast. That is when it may form a lump, if you can see a small dot in the diagram. Okay, now, depending on the size of the lump, it can either be a stage 1 or a stage 2 breast cancer. Till now, also, it is considered to be an early invasive stage, okay, an early stage of cancer. If not diagnosed at this stage, then cancer cells from the tissue can start to move towards the lymph nodes. So all of us may know that there are lymph nodes in our underarms, okay? There are lymph nodes around our neck area and at a lot of other places in our body. So there is a lymphatic fluid that flows in our body just like blood flows, okay? Now, if those cancer cells have moved from tissue of the breast to the nodes in the underarm, that is when it becomes regional, and it could be a stage 2 or a stage 3 breast cancer, depending on the number of nodes involved and depending on the size of the lump in the breast. And if not diagnosed at this stage also, then cancer cells start to move from the lymph nodes through the lymphatic system to other vital organs of the body, which could be kidney, liver, bones, etc. That is when it typically becomes a stage 4 breast cancer or a systemic breast cancer. While I know of patients who are living for years with stage 4 breast cancer also, but the chances of breast cancer being cured at later stages are very, very minimal, okay? The earlier it is diagnosed, higher are the chances of it being cured, right? So the only thing that we need to take care of is, like I've said before, that be aware of the body and get screenings on time, because you know what happens with breast cancer is, and that's the reason why it is called as a silent killer, that usually by the time that symptoms start to arise, that is when, you know, the lady may feel that there's something wrong in the body, it has usually progressed. Okay, but if you are doing your own self breast exam, if you're getting the screenings done as per the age in question, God forbid if somebody has to be diagnosed, in most probability it will be diagnosed at an early stage and it would be cured. So that is what the important thing is here. So what are some of the signs and symptoms that we need to be careful about? One thing here is that all of these signs and symptoms do not mean that it is breast cancer, you know, necessarily. These signs and symptoms can happen because of other issues such as hormonal imbalances also, all right? Like around 90% of the cysts in the breast are not cancerous, okay? Discharge from nipple can also happen because of hormonal imbalance. But whatever the reason be, if there is any problem with the body, it needs to be shown to the doctor, right? So starting with the first symptom or first sign, which is a persistent lump or thickening in the breast or in the armpit area. Now, why it says persistent is, like I said before, that during our periods, you know, many times we feel, you know, heaviness or a cyst or pain. If it goes away once the periods are over, then it is okay. But if any of these things persists to, you know, continues to persist, that is when you have to go to a doctor. Second, if there is any change in the color of the skin, like it may become bluish in color as an example, which means if there's any discoloration, or, you know, if you see in the picture, there's a dimple in the breast, which is called as puckering. Or if you find that the skin of the breast has become scaly, you know, like that of a fish, then go to a doctor. For most of us, the nipple is protruding out. But if you feel that the nipple is now inverted in or pulled in, then show to a doctor. If there is either a white discharge or a bloody discharge, especially from the nipple, then go to a doctor. If there is a change in the size or shape of the breast, then go to a doctor. Now, for most of the women, the size will be a little different between both the breasts. But if it has been like that since the start, then it is okay. But if there is any change, then you should be showing to a doctor, right? And this is just to say that whatever the issue is because of which these changes are happening, one should go to a doctor. And if you feel that there's any change in the breast, then it is better to go and show to a breast surgeon rather than a gynecologist, because a breast surgeon is more experienced at understanding as to what is happening inside your body. Now, most of you may have heard of certain vaccinations in place for cervical cancer. But unlike cervical cancer, there is nothing in place for breast cancer, that you can get a shot of maybe, and that it would act as a preventive shield for you. Breast cancer is a lifestyle disease. The only way that you can lower your risks of having breast cancer is by understanding what are the factors that can increase your risk, and then working towards bringing those factors down, which is basically to do with the lifestyle that we have. So all of us, while I know that there are a few males, a few boys also attending the talk, and I'm so happy and proud of all of you, because it is equally important for everybody to, understand what we're talking about here. While most of breast cancer cases happen in females, but it also happens in males, but those are only 1% of cases. Then as we grow older in age, the chances of having breast cancer increase, as is the case with all kinds of lifestyle diseases, be it high blood pressure, diabetes, or any other lifestyle disease. Then if there is a family history of any of the 4 types of cancers, female cancers, it could be of the breast, uterus, cervix, or ovary, could be on your maternal side or your paternal side. Then menstrual history. So early onset of menses, say before the age of 12, or late menopause after the age of 55 can also lead to a higher chance of having breast cancer. The reason is that one of the most common forms of breast cancer is related to hormones, okay? Now, whether somebody has very early onset of periods or very late menopause, it means that the lady has more number of cycles of periods. More the number of cycles means more production of hormones in the body, therefore a higher chance of having breast cancer. Then anybody who doesn't have a biological child at all, or has the first biological child after the age of 30, also has a slightly higher chance of having breast cancer, because the cells in the breast before first full-term pregnancy are very naughty. They're very active and they tend to interact with all kinds of external stimuli. But once the first full-term pregnancy happens, these cells become mature and they stop interacting with outside stimuli. That is why, the chances of having it decrease. Then anybody who has a history of any of the 4 female cancers may have it again. Then obesity. So anybody who's obese is also at a higher chance of having breast cancer. And specifically the fat around the abdomen area is very risky. Then diet, I think all of us know that having too much of processed food or junk food or smoking or alcohol can also lead to, many other diseases. It's not just about breast cancer, but a lot of these things, if you understand, are related to lifestyle diseases, right? So if you're able to alter our lifestyle, generally speaking, our health, our well-being will become better. And I'm not going to go too much into detail about food here because, I think that all of you must be hearing about it enough from your parents. And if there are any parents here, you would already be telling your kids about it. So not going into too much detail of it. But whenever I talk about food, see, I don't mean to say, that alter your lifestyle completely, stop eating processed, stop eating junk. No, I also do that still. But everything has to be done in moderation. 1, very, very important rule. 2, if you are eating outside or junk or whatever, make sure to add at least 2 to 3 food items that will help you to improve your immunity on a daily basis, right? So there's small little things that we can do towards this. Then lack of physical activity. This is again one of my favorite questions, that I like to ask the audience, not possibly in an online session though, but mostly when I ask, that how much of a physical activity do you do? Most common answer is, that so since you guys are studying, that we go to college, we come back. For faculty, it is like, again, we go to college, we come back, we look after a family, we do household chores. For office going people, it's also the same, right? So for most of us, taking care of our work, our profession, our house is enough physical activity for us. But when we talk about physical activity, we need to say it in, at two levels. One, physical activity is to do with the fact that our life should not be sedentary. Okay, our bodies are not made to be sedentary, right? Which means that even your classes might be going on from home these days, but make it a point to keep getting up from your seat, do small chores on your own, fill up your bottles, take your food on your own, do all of these things, after every meal, walk in the house for 10 minutes. Okay, the idea is to not lead a sedentary life. And two, particularly when we're talking about physical activity, I am talking about cardio exercises. Okay, when we do cardio exercises, our heart pumps at a faster rate, and that is when our body becomes more oxygenated. And a well oxygenated body improves immunity, and it can also control cell growth, right? So it may not be a gym only, it could be doing brisk walk, jogging, gym, aerobics, dance, anything that suits you. But doing around 40-45 minutes of cardio exercises 5 days a week is a must to lead a healthy life, right? And like I have been saying, all of these things are not only to keep breast cancer at bay, but following all of these things, is equally important to have a healthy lifestyle. And then stress. So I stress a lot on not taking stress. I know that many of you will feel, that it's very easy to say, it's very difficult to do. But I don't know whether we have time or not for this, but I can share, few little things from my own experience. Like, I'm no Baba, nor am I coming out of any book to tell you what to do. But, small little things from my experience that I've learned, one of which is to count your blessings. It is so, so important. While we are in this period of lockdown, I have lockdown. I mean, nowadays unlock 5 also. But when I say lockdown, it means that most of us are sitting at home, working from home, not going out, not meeting friends, like it is a voluntary lockdown now for us, for many of us. But, and I see so many people, cribbing about it, being so frustrated, being angry and, thinking, my life ko kya ho gaya? 2020 is this, 2020 is that, and everything. But, I have been in kind of quarantine even before for around 6 months when I was undergoing my treatment. And I was not at home because I was asked to remain at home so that I could continue to stay healthy. I was home because I was sick. I did not have energy to play with my son, to, enjoy small little things like eating at home, being with my family, doing some normal things as driving, etc. So if you ask me, I feel blessed that even in this time, I am healthy, I am at home, but every morning when I get up, I thank God that I am alive, I am healthy. I thank God for blessing me with the night that was. I thank God for giving me a beautiful day which is ahead. I thank my body for being physically fit and healthy. I thank all my loved ones, for being so caring, loving. I thank Mother Earth for being so generous, for giving us space, for giving us resources. And that is how I actually feel, I am at home today. I am in a safe environment. I'm with my loved ones. I am doing my official work, like the NGO work. I am doing my household chores. I'm looking after my son. I have a new pup at home. I am following a hobby. I have started to take belly dance classes, which I wanted to take for so many years. So what I'm trying to say is that it all matters, that what do you want to keep your focus on? If you want to keep your focus on how things are bad today, yes, they will remain bad for you for even a longer period. If you shift your focus from what is good that is going on right now in your life, trust me, each one of us has a lot of blessings to be thankful for even today, even in this time of pandemic, right? And the more you say thanks to whatever energy that you may believe in, and at least you believe in your own body, your mind, your loved ones, etc., this feeling of gratitude generates so much positivity in you, and that is what the universe learns, that you're happy, and that is what the universe blesses you with, happiness. Trust me on this, try doing this, and you will receive all the blessings, right? So there are very small little things, one thing that I started to do was, so I think all of us have certain people in our life, who kind of irritate us a lot. While when I say this, I believe that it is not the people who are irritating us, it is us who are getting irritated because we have given our emotional control to them. One person says the same thing to 5 different people, all 5 people will not react the same way, right? Because each person will not give their emotional control to that one person. Okay. But if you may have certain people from whom you feel irritated, this is what I have started to do for a long period now, which has really helped me. Every time, that I feel angry with someone or I feel irritated, I bless them. I say, God bless this person, and just, I keep on saying that. And when I say that, I feel that there's a positive energy which is being generated inside me, because if you're saying a blessing for somebody, of course, it's a positive emotion in you that gets generated. That positive vibe goes to the other person, and even your relationship becomes better in the longer run. And to start with, if you feel कि अरे हमें इतना गुस्सा आ रहा है, हम इसको कैसे blessing दे, गुस्से में बोल दो, God bless you, अक्कल दें तुम्हें, But once you start to do this, you will understand that slowly and steadily, this becomes a habit, and blessing somebody doesn't feel as difficult as it may have looked at the start. Okay. And the only reason why you have to do is to have inner peace. It is not to say, कि आप दूसरे बंदे के लिए ये कर रहे हो. No, आप ये अपने लिए कर रहे हो. You need to be stress free, you need to have inner peace. So it is just a way for you to feel better at the time when you're feeling angry. Okay, I can continue with this. We'll see at the end of the session, if there's time, and I can talk more about it. So continuing with the risk factor. So anybody who's had radiation to chest before the age of 30 because of some other disease will be at a higher chance. Then hormones, I think my generation and even the generation of today, we somehow find it very easy to pop a pill, If you have a hormonal imbalance and you're given a choice कि या तो आप रोज एक छोटी सी गोली खा लो versus you do exercise daily, you eat right and you meditate. I can challenge more than half of you will choose to eat a pill, right? That is how we have become, कि हमारी, like I was saying, life has become sedentary. And this is the reason, why breast cancer is more common in urban India than in rural India. That's only to do with the lifestyle. So what I'm trying to say is that, like I said, that one of the most common forms of breast cancer is related to hormones. So please try to not have any extra hormones that can be avoided. Okay. So as an example, instead of having, birth control pills, use other modes of contraception. As an example, PCOD or PCOS is very, very common in girls these days, right? In young girls. One, let me tell you, if you are sleeping at the right time, if you're eating right, if you're exercising, if you're able to manage your stress, hormonal imbalances, it is a very, very low chance to happen at the first place. Two, even if there's some hormonal imbalance that happens at the very beginning, if you start to make these lifestyle changes, you will be off medication very, very soon. It is a very, very high chance. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that one, try not to take extra hormones. Two, if you do have to take extra hormones, suppose, and if you have, say, suppose a family history of any of these cancers that we're talking about, make it a point to talk to your doctor about it, be aware about it, because one, not all hormones are equally harmful. Two, it is also dependent on the length or the duration for which you need to be put on hormones. Okay. But the point is to be aware and talk to your doctor about it. Then the last point on this slide is genetics. So unlike the popular belief, that breast cancer happens mostly when you have a family history. Yes, breast cancer can happen because of, family history, but these cases are only 5 to 10%. Okay. All breast cancer cases happen because of gene mutation in your own body, nothing to do with the heredity. And in my case, I had none of these high risk factors. Okay. I got married at the right time. I had my son at right age. I breastfed him. I don't have a family history, thankfully, but it still happened to me. So it is just to say, that while for people who have any of these risk factors, they need to be more cautious. But again, to say that it can happen to anybody, so it's important to be aware and take care of our bodies. These are some of the emerging risk factors on which a lot of studies are going on, and we need to be wary about these as well. So if most of you may have gotten your vitamin D levels checked, most of us here in India have very, very low vitamin D levels, right? And a lot of studies have shown that having the right amount of vitamin D levels can actually control cell growth. And there are a lot of studies now also going on to show that having optimum amount of vitamin D levels can actually improve your immunity, which is also being said in terms of COVID. If you may have read those articles, okay? So for those of you who have gotten your vitamin D levels checked and they are low, please take supplements as per the doctor's advice. For those of you who have not got them checked, get them checked and take supplements if it is low. Exposure to chemicals in plastic. So while I really dislike WhatsApp University, but this is one thing that I feel that WhatsApp University has done a good work at, because a lot of people know about it now. So yes, whenever plastic is heated, it emanates certain chemicals which are carcinogenic in nature. Okay. So one, do not put any kind of plastic in microwave. Always use glassware. Do not use those, disposable cups for hot beverages, and try to replace your plasticware in the kitchen with either steel or glassware, okay? Your containers, your bottles. But if you cannot replace all of these things, at least if you find that there is a lot of wear and tear to those plastic containers or bottles, then replace them. Then eating unhealthy food. So don't eat unhealthy food. Like I said, that your parents must be doing a good job. And if there are elders listening to this, I mean, they would already know about it. And again, to reiterate, that do everything in moderation and add good food items to your daily diet that will help improve your immunity, exercise on a daily basis, manage your stress. And I think that's about it, sleep well. Like, these are few very, very important things. If you're doing, then your health automatically will remain good. Then exposure to chemicals in cosmetics. So there are these two categories of chemicals, one is parabens, second is phthalates. So not asking you to change all your cosmetics or your personal hygiene items, but if there's anything that you use on a daily basis, like suppose a shampoo, a brand of shampoo or a lipper that has parabens or phthalates in it, then at least for those one or two items, change your product. Then exposure to chemicals in food. So even the fruits and vegetables that we eat today do have a lot of pesticides in them. One way to take care of it is to go organic. But of course, organic is a very expensive way, may not suit all of us. Two, we do not know how organic is organic in India. But of course, if you're able to find a good vendor for organic, and if you can afford it, go organic. If you can't, then soak, wash, peel as many things as possible, okay? This is something that a lot of us as families might be already doing in COVID times. Continue with that practice of soaking, washing, peeling, because that takes care of a lot of chemicals as it is. Then if you have too much of smoked, barbecued or grilled food from outside, then reduce the frequency, because these methods of cooking also have certain amounts of carcinogens being produced. Okay, so these were some of the major risk factors. Now coming on to screenings, there are three major kinds of screenings that we are talking about here today. One is the self-breast exam. So self-breast exam is something, as the name suggests, that we need to do it ourselves. It has to start after after a girl reaches 20 years of age, and this has to continue forever, so this is like 20 till you die. Even while you're pregnant, you are postmenopausal, whatever the stage be, this should continue. This has to be done once every month. And the best time to do it is between the 5th and 7th day of your periods every month, okay? Which means if you get your periods on 1st of July, then the best time is to do it between 5th and 7th or 5th and 10th July, okay? And for ladies who do not have periods, they can do it at any time of the month. Then get a clinical breast exam. This is the screening that needs to start after you turn 30, once every year. It is the same way as you do your self-breast exam. In the same way a doctor does this for you. You can either go to a breast surgeon or an experienced gynecologist and try to keep the same doctor, because the doctor it will be easier for the doctor to understand if there's a change in the breast if you're going to the same doctor. But again, to say, if you find a change in the breast, then prefer going to a breast surgeon rather than a gynecologist. And then is a mammography. So this comes into place after you turn 40, once in 2 years between 40 and 50 years, and once every year after turning 50. Okay, so and these three have to continue together. It is not one in place of the other. All right. Now, this is the picture of how to do your self-breast exam. Take a minute to look at this, and then I'll tell you how to do it, though this has the picture and the description for you. So I'm stopping the sharing thing for now. I'll let you know from my side also how this needs to be done. So as you may have seen in the picture, when this starts, so of course this has to be done without your clothes, without the bra. Lie down on a flat surface. It could be your bed. Okay. Just fold a small towel or a small bed sheet and keep it underneath your shoulder. This is just for comfort. Put one hand behind your head, right, while lying down flat, and with 3 fingers of your other hand, start to feel your breast in round circular motions. Okay, it has to be done in round motions, and these motions should be of a coin size. ऐसे ऐसे बड़ा बड़ा नहीं करना, simply press करके भी नहीं देखना, because if you're doing like this, you will not be able to feel any change. Apply pressure in circular motions. Okay, in your mind you can divide your breast into 4 quadrants. Do it on the first quadrant first, then second, then third, then fourth. This is just to make sure, you know, that you're covering your whole breast. And when you're doing this, the area that you have to cover is the whole breast up till the collarbone and the underarm. All right. And when you're doing this, you have to apply 3 different levels of pressure. One is that when you do it, apply very little pressure. This is for if there is any change on the surface of the breast, you will be able to know. Then the second round will be a little harder. And the third round, apply maximum pressure, because there are a lot of times that these cysts or lumps sit deep in the tissue of the breast. Okay. So, sorry. So unless you're applying deep pressure, you would not be able to feel any change. Okay. Now, once you've done it with one side of the breast, take your other side and apply and do the same thing, covering your whole breast up till your collarbone and the underarm. Okay, in small circular rotations. Now, once you have done this, stand in front of a mirror, put your hands on your waist and bend your shoulders down, forward. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, have a look at your breasts in the mirror. What you're looking at is basically to see if there's any change in on the surface of the breast, on the skin of the breast. Okay. So look out for any discoloration, any change in the skin, any thickening or any scaliness, or you know, if you feel the nipple is inverted in. For those of you who have heavy breasts, you can pick up your breast and then see the skin underneath, and then at the end just squeeze your nipples a little to see if there's any discharge. Okay, this whole thing doesn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes of your time, and I think that all of us owe this much, that we can take out 15-20 minutes in a month for ourselves, right? And there is nothing to be scared of doing this. You know, I see a lot of women, you know, who say कि हम तो नहीं करते, हमें डर लगता है. You know, क्यों डर लगता है? क्योंकि वो, you know, the way that they do it is, okay, अब यहाँ पे lump मिलेगा, अब यहाँ पे lump मिलेगा, अब यहाँ पे मिलेगा. The idea of doing this is not to find a lump. For most of you, you will, God willing, never ever find a lump. Okay, the only idea behind doing this is to be aware of your own body. अगर आपके मुंह पे पिंपल होता है, आपको पता है, right? कितना शोर मचा गया, right? अगर पैर में कुछ है, you would know of it. It is just the same way that you need to be aware if there is any change on your breasts or in your breasts. It's simple as that. Right? And like I said, that whatever signs and symptoms we discussed, they may not be cancerous. It may be because of any other reason. It could be an allergy, infection, hormonal imbalance, but whatever the reason be, it needs to be treated and cured, right? So I really, really hope that all of you will take out 15 to 20 minutes in every month and do your self-breast exam, and also urge your mother, sisters, chachis, masses, friends to do the same. It is very, very important. Now, why don't women practice this? One is fear, like I just said, but I hope कि वो नहीं case होगा. Embarrassment, I don't think so will be a case with this audience. Lack of knowledge, I really hope नहीं हो. After, I've been speaking for last 1 year, 1 hour, I'm sorry. And too busy forgetfulness, I'm pretty sure could be the reason. But trust me, if you guys love yourself, this should also not be the reason. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to be in love with yourself. When you're in love with yourself, that is when everything around you becomes more beautiful. Trust me, लोग कहते हैं कि अच्छा प्यार में सब कुछ कितना सुंदर दिखता है. वो प्यार सबसे पहले अपने साथ कर लो. Things will automatically become more beautiful for you. And if you love yourself, being healthy and taking care of your body is a very, very important thing. See, understand one thing. अगर आपके पास health नहीं है, आपके पास जितने भी पैसे हैं, आपके पास जितनी भी प्यारी फैमिली है, जितने भी अच्छे फ्रेंड्स हैं, आपके पास जितना भी टाइम है टू गो टू मॉल्स, डू व्हाटएवर दैट यू एंजॉय डूइंग, you would not be able to do anything. Do we agree on this? But if you have health, it is only and only then that you will be able to enjoy all other blessings in your life, right? So health पे focus करना बहुत जरूरी है. And the best part is that it is not as difficult. These are such small little things, that if we take care of, we can lead a very, very healthy life. This is just a picture of a mammography machine, because a lot of females think that mammography is very painful, but it is not painful. At the most, it may cause a little discomfort. It is just like x-ray. Okay, discomfort because there are two plates जिसके बीच में breast रख के press करते हैं, but it is not painful at all. And like I told you, there is a particular time, during which you should be doing your self-breast exam. Likewise, the remains to be the mammography. Now, it's we have doctor protocol. So if somebody, the protocol, right, that do a breast surgery rather than now the has physically, okay, for physically आपके breast को I am sorry, it got disconnected somehow. Right, so continuing with the protocol. So like I said, that as a first step, the doctor will physically check the breast. If the doctor feels that the lady needs further investigation, in most of the cases, if the female is below the age of 40, she will be asked to get an ultrasound done. If above the age of 40, she will be asked to get a mammography done. The reason is that it is difficult for a mammography to pick up changes in a dense breast. And females in younger ages have very dense breasts. That is why mammography is supposedly to start after turning 40. But if there is a change in the breast, the doctor may feel that it is important to get both ultrasound and mammography, even for girls below the age of 40, depends on how the doctor sees the change to be. Then the ultrasound or mammography is not a conclusive test, but it does give an idea whether further investigation is required or not. And usually the conclusion comes either through an FNAC or a biopsy. Now, if it shows that the lump is malignant, then in most of the cases, a doctor asks for a full body scan just to see if cancer has spread to any other organ, because that will, the type of treatment to start will depend on that. So this is just to share that what should be the normal protocol be if somebody does find a lump in the breast. Now, since I told you, that it is not something that we can get a vaccination for and be sure that it will not happen, but there are a lot of things that we from our side can do in terms of lifestyle changes, which will automatically lower our chances of having breast cancer. So, like I said, avoid taking extra hormones, get to a healthy weight and stick to it. And I don't mean to say that join VLCC and the likes, but eat right and exercise. Get regular exercise, limit alcohol use, stop smoking completely if you do, get fresh air, avoid unnecessary radiation, get enough vitamin D. Please, for those of you who have low vitamin D levels, start taking supplements as per the doctor's advice. Eat more of raw fruits and vegetables, at least 3 to 4 servings per day. Soak, wash, peel as many fruits and vegetables as possible, or go organic, whichever way it suits you. Now, this list on your left contains certain food items which are very, very high in pesticides. The food item on your right talks about list that is very low on pesticides, okay? So if you can go organic halfway, or if you do not have time to soak, wash, peel everything, at least take care of the list on your left that has food items such as apples, celery, strawberries, peaches, spinach, grapes, sweet bell peppers, potatoes, blueberries, lettuce, kale, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, and hot peppers. Then avoid taking too much junk food or empty calories. Like I said, everything in moderation. And second, do things to improve your immunity, like add certain food items that can help to improve your immunity. Choose healthy cooking methods. So don't have too much of grilled, barbecued, or smoked. You know, reduce the frequency if you're having it too frequently. Use safe cookware. So avoid using non-stick cookware, because any scratches that a non-stick cookware has, it emanates certain chemicals which are carcinogenic in nature. Okay, so avoid using it. Use safe storage containers, which should either be glassware or steel. Choose safe personal care products. So which means, like I said, that if there are any personal care products that you use on a daily basis, check that it should not have parabens or phthalates in it. Manage your emotional stress. Sleep well. So when I say sleep well, one is, of course, like most of us know that as an adult we should have around 6 to 8 hours of sleep, but equally important it is the time at which we sleep. So between 10:30 to 2:30 at night, our hormones get regularized. Okay, so as close that you sleep to 10:30 is good, and I can already see a few smiles of whatever 5, 6 pictures I can see. So I can guess by what time you guys must be sleeping. But if not 10:30, try sleeping by 11. No, that is not the case. Okay, if not 11, try sleeping by 11:30. But as close to 10:30 that you sleep, your hormones get regularized, your lifestyle gets better, and your health remains better. Consider earlier pregnancy. So of course not too early, but like I said, before the age of 30. And know your family and personal history, which means that many of us may not know what our grandmoms, great grandmoms, or earlier generations may have passed from. So just check if whether on your maternal or paternal side they had any of the 4 types of female cancers that we discussed. Then maybe check with the doctor, because whatever protocols for screenings are discussed, those are for people who are asymptomatic and are not in high risk factors, right? So if somebody already has some issue in the breast, or somebody has a strong family history, the doctor may recommend a different screening timeline which needs to be followed. So these last 2 slides now are basically talking about certain food items that I have been saying, that add a few food items to your daily diet to improve your immunity. This and this particular slide. Okay, so I'm not going to go into details of explaining each and every food item, but once we open the platform for question and answers, please feel free to ask me any food item that you may want to know as to how should it be taken. Okay, I'll be more than happy to share that with you. And this is the last slide, and one of my favorite slides that says life is short and simple. Stop analyzing it. Okay. If you start to do this, trust me, आपका stress अपने आप ही कम हो जाएगा. Start loving yourself and do any of these things on a daily basis to take care of your stress and lead a better and a healthy life. Yeah. Okay, so that's all from my side.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for such an insightful session. I personally learned a lot because I have never ever attended a breast cancer session or never had the opportunity to, get someone to talk about it so freely like you did today in the webinar. I really appreciated it. And I hope everyone, felt the same way. So I invite all any of the questions. If anybody has some questions to ma'am, they can or they can type it in the chat box below. Meanwhile, I have some pre-written questions that are given by some of the attendees. So the first question is, so there's some person, these are all anonymous. So I had an ultrasound in past of my breast because I found a lump which was a bit painful, but reports were normal. But the lump is still there. Should I need to worry?
Okay, so one, while this is not a hard and fast rule, but most of the lumps in breast cancer cases are painless. Okay, I am making this point out because a lot of us feel that if a lump pains, that is when it is something of worry, and if there is no pain, to worry nahi hai. Contrary to it, in breast cancer, most of the lumps are painless. Okay. Second, there are a lot of cysts, like I said, which are not cancerous. Okay. So if you have already gotten an ultrasound done and it says कि वो, आपके अल्ट्रासाउंड में कुछ ना कुछ आया होगा कि वो फाइब्रोडिनोमा है और व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ सिस्ट इट इज. इफ आई डोंट नो किसका क्वेश्चन है, अदरवाइज आई कुड हैव डिस्कस्ड इट
I
एट
don't
ग्रेटर.
know. Yeah. These are
सो
all anonymous questions,
या
ma'am.
या
So I
तो
also
जितना
cannot tell.
मैं उसी दायरे में बता सकती हूँ इज दिस दैट यस, नॉट एवरी लम्प लाइक आई सेड इज कैंसर, बट कई बार अगर मान लीजिए आपकी रिपोर्ट में हो, क्योंकि वन वेरी कॉमन फॉर्म ऑफ सच लम्प और सिस्ट इज फाइब्रोडिनोमा, उस केस में डॉक्टर्स यूजुअली रेकमेंड करते हैं कि आप एवरी ईयर या एवरी 6 मंथ्स आप एक रिव्यू ऑफ अल्ट्रासाउंड करवाइए. ओके, सो इन केस द डॉक्टर हैज एडवाइज टू डू दैट, देन प्लीज गेट दैट डन. एंड अगर आपने अल्ट्रासाउंड करवा लिया है बट नॉट शोन टू अ डॉक्टर, देन स्टिल शो टू अ डॉक्टर, because a doctor will be a better person after seeing the report to tell you if it needs review every year. क्योंकि कई टाइप के सिस्ट में द डॉक्टर्स वांट इट टू बी रिव्यूड एवरी ईयर. किसी टाइप के सिस्ट में जो कि बहुत फंक्शनल सिस्ट होती हैं, द डॉक्टर में फील कि इसमें कोई जरूरत नहीं है आगे रिव्यू कराने की भी. सो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट द रिपोर्ट एक्चुअली सेड कि वो किस टाइप का सिस्ट है. बट येस, ऑफ कोर्स, ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर सिस्ट है तो कैंसरस ही था.
Okay. So one other question is, what are the possible side effects of each treatment option? What should you not say to a cancer patient? Basically, how to cheer them up? What do you really want to make us understand through this talk?
Okay, so pehla question was about side effects. I don't know why would any of you really want to know about side effects, because क्यों जानना चाहते हैं? I mean, thankfully all of you are healthy, and the focus can be yes on knowing कि क्या treatment चाहिए होता है, क्या तब होता है, not so much on side effects. But since it has been asked, usually surgery होती है. Surgery के as such तो side effects नहीं है. Of course there is a recovery period. There are pipes that are attached to your body that go to drains जिसमें liquid collect होता है, which remain connected to your body for around 1 or 2 weeks. उसके बाद में वो remove हो जाता है. Like I shared in the starting कि depending on the type of surgery आपका breast का shape change होता है, but there are ways and means to take care of it. When we come to chemotherapy, yes, of course there are side effects. One being hair fall, but to me I think that was the least of worries. Like hair fall was never ever a problem for me, because that's like such a temporary thing. But the reason why I'm saying it as the first thing, because I have seen that for most women it is the most agonizing thing. Okay, हर एक के दिमाग में सबसे पहला और सबसे परेशानी करने वाला साइड इफेक्ट यही आता है. But all the hair come back beautifully as before, or maybe even better. So that is not something to worry. There are ways and means to take care of, when you're bald also, scarves aate hain, bahut stylish beanies aati hain, wigs aati hain, right? And for all you know, just go out with that look. And trust me, if you're confident, or agar aap khud se conscious nahi feel kar rahe ho, it will come out as a style statement. Okay. Some of the side effects are, yes, that it leads to a lot of weakness. But वो weakness भी usually ज़्यादा रहती है after 2 to 3 days of chemo cycle, which उसके बाद में it reduces to a great extent. I know of a lot of ladies who continue to work also. Okay, so 2-3 दिन की छुट्टी लेके घर रह के they go to work, they manage their household work and everything. And सारे के सारे जो side effects हैं ना वो हर एक को same नहीं होते हैं. So one thing is कि अगर किसी को कुछ लगता भी है तो पहली चीज कि प्लीज गूगल मत करना. मतलब if you Google आप क्रोसिन भी नहीं खा पाओगे. Okay, so इसलिए साइड इफेक्ट्स जहाँ पे आते हैं गूगल मत करना एंड डोंट फोकस टू मच ऑन इट एनीवेज. द सेकंड क्वेश्चन व्हिच आई थिंक yes is very important, that if you know of somebody, how to react to that person, because this is actually a problem, because somehow, because cancer is such a big hawa in all of our minds that we don't know कि अगर किसी को हो गया तो उससे क्या बात करो. I have seen losing a few friends because they probably didn't know how to react to it, at the time when I was diagnosed. So one, do not show pity. सबसे जरूरी, concern, true concern show करना, पूछना that if you could be of any help, if you could do something, talk to them more regularly, and talk and be as normal as you can. Nobody wants to keep feeling कि वो बीमार है, right? So try to be as normal with them, jokes मारो, chill करो, be with them, अपना time दो उनको. And two, this happens a lot of times, जब आप, अगर वो आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम शेयर कर रहे हैं, हर एक का एक जनरल रिएक्शन क्या होता है, अरे ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक हो जाएगा, अरे डोंट वरी, ठीक हो जाएगा. There are times when the person doesn't want to hear this, okay, because he or she is going through a very difficult physical period, okay. So one thing that you can really do to help that person is make her get connected to other people who've been through it. Okay, there are a lot of support groups in place. This is something that can really help that person's journey. Because एक जो foremost डर हर patient के दिमाग में होता है, one is of course other people through their own experiences can help with the side effects, and two, one fear that most of the people who are undergoing treatment is कि हमारी life कभी normal होगी या नहीं, because at the time when your treatment is going on, you somehow still may feel safe because you're in hands of the doctors. उसके बाद का आपको कुछ नहीं पता. So making them come in contact with people who've been through it, who have won over it, will be of great help.
Okay, yeah. I hope this question was answered. So before moving to the next question, I would like to tell you that the feedback link is given in the chat box. You all are requested to fill the same. And meanwhile, the questions are going on. Okay. So next question is, can we overcome from the breast cancer completely in the world? And if yes, then how much time will be required for this?
From the world?
Yeah.
From the world तो बहुत बड़ा पर्सपेक्टिव हो गया. मतलब अभी तो हम अपनी बॉडी को सेव करके रखें. आई थिंक दैट इज गुड इनफ अ जॉब. अपनी फैमिली को आप प्रोटेक्ट करो. डू थिंग्स टू हेल्प योर सेल्फ एंड योर फैमिली टू स्टे कम्प्लीटली हेल्दी. सी कैंसर बर्डन मतलब इंडिया में ही इतना हाई है, वर्ल्ड में ऑफ कोर्स बहुत हाई है, एंड इट इज अ वेरी वेरी फार फेच्ड थिंग इवन टू think कि ये कब जाएगा, क्योंकि like I said that a lot of these diseases are actually related to lifestyle, especially since we're talking about breast cancer. So until and unless आप अपने lifestyle को पूरा world ही improve कर ले and we go back to the way that we used to live many decades back, तो ऐसे गायब तो नहीं होने वाला, right? And again to say कि हमारा focus has to be on keeping us and our families healthy, क्योंकि पूरे वर्ल्ड के लिए आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते एनीवेज अभी, राइट? तो जिस छोटे लेवल पे आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं उस पे कर रहे हैं, एंड लेट्स बी फोकस्ड ऑन दैट.
Okay. So another question is, can breast cancer be cured at a low cost by which every poor woman can get rid out of it?
So when we're talking about treatment cost also, जितनी जल्दी breast cancer diagnose होता है उतना usually कम costing आती है. Okay, so one thing here which is very important is कि जितना जल्दी breast cancer diagnose होगा उतना कम treatment चाहिए होगा, उतनी कम cost आएगी, उतना chances of it being cured are higher. Okay, as far as people from lower income group goes, there are hospitals that do provide major part of the treatment free of cost. There are a lot of schemes now that the government is offering, जिससे कि बहुत major part of the treatment can be taken free, but the problem is that people are not aware of such schemes. So what we also do is कि अब मान लीजिए कि कोई गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल है जो कि सर्जरी फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट देता है, बट कैंसर बर्डन इतना हाई है कि उसकी सर्जरी की बारी दी जाती है 3 महीने बाद की. Now, something as the surgery for cancer should not be delayed for 3 months, right? So then we help those patients out to get their surgeries done from private hospitals at a nominal cost because we are associated with a lot of other hospitals, okay? या कुछ इस टाइप के कैंसर के ट्रीटमेंट्स हैं जो कि हॉस्पिटल सच एज एम्स ऑल्सो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट नहीं देता, क्योंकि कई पर्टिकुलर टाइप के ट्रीटमेंट्स बहुत एक्सपेंसिव हैं. So then we take over such cases and we have been helping those patients particularly, जैसे जिनको HER2 पॉजिटिव ब्रेस्ट कैंसर होता है तो उनका हम टिपिकली हेल्प करते हैं. बट अदर देन दैट देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ पेशेंट्स जिनको हम इंफॉर्मेशन देके भी हेल्प करते हैं ऑफ हाउ दे कैन मेक यूज ऑफ लॉट ऑफ स्कीम्स दैट अ गवर्नमेंट इज ऑफरिंग टुडे. So एक चीज जिसकी कमी है is actually awareness on part of people that there are ways and means जिससे वो अपना ट्रीटमेंट करवा सकते हैं.
Okay. There are some more questions, but I believe you already answered them in the webinar. And yeah, so I'll check if any questions are there in the chat box.
Sure. Till then, let me ask a question and answer it for you too. There are always a lot of questions around the type of bras. So wearing dark colored bras or padded bras, there is no conclusive study that says that it leads to a higher chance of having breast cancer. But if you continue to wear dark colored or padded bras on an everyday basis, they tend to absorb a lot of heat. Okay, so the skin of your breast doesn't get to breathe really. It may cause some discomfort or allergy, and that's the reason why you should either open or remove your bra at night. Likewise, when we're talking about an underwired bra, you should not wear it on an everyday basis. Again, not related to having a higher chance of breast cancer, but since it sits on the rib cage, it can cause an injury, or it can cause irritability, or it can cause some breathing issues. It can also, if you're wearing a very tight bra, have an impact on the lymphatic fluid of the body, but not related to a higher chance of having breast cancer.
Okay. I believe there's some question in the chat box. So I got one question. Can you brief a bit on requirement of a vaccine under cervical cancer?
Okay, so vaccine for cervical cancer, the best time to do it is when in younger ages, around when you're a teenager and before any sexual activity starts. And these vaccinations there are 3 vaccinations that have to be taken. So for that, you can check with your general family doctor, क्योंकि इसके लिए आपका family doctor ही आपको ये vaccination दे सकते हैं. But even in females in your age, if you've not had any sexual activities, you can still have these vaccinations, because while uska percentage of protection may go low, but yes, it still does provide you with good amount of protection. So you can either check from a gynecologist or your family doctor and get these vaccinations done.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, so there's one question. Does scratchy nipples mean anything wrong if someone has scratchy nipples?
Scratchy nipples can also be because of dry skin. So my first thing to say is that try applying a little oil, not like too much, but apne haathon pe aisi oil leke just keep your skin moisturized. I think that it will go away just like that. Agar usse bhi nahi jata hai, then go to a doctor. It could also be because of some allergy happening. But हाँ, अगर वो moisturize करने के बाद भी नहीं जाता, then do show to a doctor.
Okay. So there's another question. How fatal are men breast cancer? Also, is it completely similar to that of women? That is the symptoms, testing, and treatment.
Yes, in terms of treatment, it is similar, because जो men में भी breast cancer होता है, that's related to hormones. Okay, उस केस में lump का मिलना ज़्यादा easy हो जाता है, since they do not have very dense breast, the tissue is not as much, right? But the only problem is that men really, I don't think that they pay too much attention to their breast, because it is not one of the main organs, so to say, जिस पे बहुत ज़्यादा focus करने की need होती है. So that can, yes, delay any change. But if they're keeping a general check, it is not difficult to pick out, क्योंकि tissue नहीं है, so any change will be easier to pick. And उनके केस में if men have breast cancer, it is not just that portion that is removed, it is usually the reproductive parts also जिसमें surgery की जाता है, because hormones वहाँ से produce होते हैं.
Okay, but the chances of men having breast cancer is very less, right?
It is very low. It is just 1% of total breast cancer cases that happen in men.
Okay, that's really cool. I'm waiting for any more questions. If anybody has. Okay, if someone has a family history of cancer, does that make you prone to cancer?
So like I said, that any 4 types of female cancers, which could be cervical, uterus, ovarian or breast cancer, agar aapki family history hai, whether on the maternal or paternal side, yes, you are at a higher risk. But it is not कि अगर आपकी family history है तो आपको होगा ही होगा, because like I said that it is only around 10% of breast cancer cases that happen because of heredity, but no one is to know कि वो 10% कौन से लोग हैं, right? So one, अगर मान लो आपकी family में बहुत strong family history, you know, like not just one person, but there are 2-3 people who have had any of these cancers, then probably it is a better idea to get gene testing done. Okay, you can talk to your doctor, they would tell you more about gene testing, which is BRCA1, BRCA2. अगर in cases में वो positive आते हैं, then there can be certain steps that you as further generations can take to decrease your chances of having breast cancer or any of these cancers in future. 2, if you do not have a very strong history, but एक आध कोई है जिनको हुआ है, you need to be more particular about getting your screenings done on time. Because yes, to some extent आपका higher chance जो है वो बढ़ जाता है. I mean, the risk increases to some extent.
Okay, so there's one question. Is there any chance of getting cancer again after surgery?
Yes, there is. I mean, it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on the stage at which it was diagnosed. It depends on the type of cancer cells, on the grade of cancer cells. It also depends on your state of mind after it. It also depends on the lifestyle changes that you have made. So it is dependent on a lot of factors, but yes, it can.
Okay, so I guess this is the last question. How to take care of cutting off breast after surgery?
How to take care of?
Cutting off breast, the cut off breast after surgery. If the breast gets cut off during the
body, like अगर body से breast remove कर ले तो body का कैसे देखें? Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, that one, not all types of cancer surgeries actually lead to removal of breast. So, if somebody has undergone a breast conservative surgery or a lumpectomy, which means कि छोटा portion ही निकाला गया है, there are times that that portion can also be filled through a reconstructive surgery. Okay. अगर वो छोटा portion बहुत ही छोटा है, then a person may not need any kind of a reconstructive surgery as well. In cases जहाँ पे पूरा breast remove होता है, either the female can wear a prosthesis, which is an artificial breast. वो prosthesis भी बहुत अलग-अलग material के होते हैं. There's silicone, cotton, microbeads extra available. For people who can afford a slightly expensive prosthesis, which comes around 8,000 rupees, then it is better to buy a silicone prosthesis, because silicone prosthesis का weight इस हिसाब से बनाया जाता है कि वो आपके normal breast के weight को match करे. So it is not just in terms of the same shape, it is also in terms of taking care of certain stress on your back and neck that it can lead to अगर आपका एक side पे breast नहीं है. So for those who can afford, take a silicone prosthesis and wear it. And another way to take care of it is by getting a reconstructive surgery done. And if any one of you wants to know further about reconstructive surgeries, I'm not going to go into detail of it here because that's too technical. But you can have my contact number and I'll be happy to share the details with you, क्योंकि वो भी बहुत अलग-अलग types की होती हैं.
Yes, obviously, if anybody has some like further query, he or she can follow ma'am on the social media channels or have a phone number if she is comfortable with that. So there are some more questions. How accessible is the treatment to the rural part of the country?
Not very easy, honestly. There are not a lot of hospitals everywhere. There are no screening facilities at so many places. And the problem is that even if you take screenings to them, either, you know, take them through rest of the investigations till the diagnosis and the treatment, because many of them feel कि अगर आप हमारे को खाली screen करके बता दो कि हमें cancer और वहाँ पे छोड़ दो, it is worse than us not knowing about it at all. Right? And while there are hospitals now opening up in tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns also, but yes, we are at a far away position to really take medical facilities to all rural areas. And that is where the picture of, you know, a lot of institutes and organizations to come together to work for it comes, क्योंकि आप खाली गवर्नमेंट पे हर चीज नहीं छोड़ सकते हो. Right? It is the role of corporate hospitals, NGOs, government, and other organizations to come together to work towards it, because the burden is too high and the population is too high.
Okay. So what do you just a second. What do you insist on eating daily for a better hormonal balance, and how can we help? For a better hormonal balance. And they're also asking that how can we help you with this cause for bringing a better, infrastructure in rural areas for the same.
So as far as hormonal balance goes, like I said, hormonal balance कोई खाली एक चीज खाने से नहीं होगा. There are 3-4 things that you need to follow to have a healthy hormonal balance, which is to eat healthy. And when I say eat healthy, like I said, that don't eat too much of junk or processed every day. Do it in moderation. मैंने आपको 2 slides दिखाई थी which had a lot of food items. Include at least 2 to 3 of those food items in your daily routine. Sleep well, which means sleep on time and have enough hours of sleep also. Exercise must to have a good hormonal balance, and try to remove stress free as possible, because having too much of stress is directly linked to having hormonal imbalances. Right? Likewise, having irregular sleep cycles. If you may have noticed, people who work in those who have night shifts have very bad hormonal balances. The reason is that your body is made up in a certain way to have certain sleep cycles. If you're not working as per that, so it will lead to a poor hormonal balance. But I cannot tell you कि आप ये एक चीज खा लो और आपको hormonal balance ठीक रहेगा. There are these 3 to 4 lifestyle changes that you have to make to maintain a healthy lifestyle and to have a healthy hormonal balance. And the second question that you said, so one thing is, of course, you know, that when we start to go in fields, I would love to have more and more volunteers from you guys. What we had started was also to have flash mobs to spread awareness. So if you may want to tie up with us, I would be more than happy. But that again can start once the pandemic situation eases. And till then, if any one of you wants to help me out with all the digital media, social media, create you know, awareness online, I will be more than happy to have you guys on my team. So if anyone of you is interested, you know, is creative, can create content, please get in touch and we can work together.
So I guess let's just take the last question. Okay, so there's one person messaging that they are interested in LinkedIn. They're asking for the LinkedIn ID because they're interested to be a part of the, the thing that you carry out. So I think her LinkedIn ID. Ma'am, if you can type in the chat box itself for everyone, it'll be easier.
Just give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
ଯେତେବେଳେ women ଇଏରେ ତାକୁ ମିଶେଇ ତାକୁ researchରେ ମୁଁ ତାକୁ ଧରିଲି.
All right, done.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm writing my email ID also since you have asked.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And one thing, you know, we very recently came out with a campaign. I don't know if you guys may have seen. It's called Unhook the Bra Challenge. It's there on our Instagram handle and on our Facebook page. Do go check it out. If you feel it makes sense for you, do share it with more and more people, because it's a very fun, and it's a basically a dance video that has been made to promote self breast exam. Two, to let everybody know, since there are 5 breast cancer winners, including me, that it is curable even if it is happening in young age. And 3, we are holding bras and dancing around with it, just to let the people know that there is nothing to be embarrassed about it. Okay, so it is a very, very powerful message. If you guys like it, then please share it further. I am also sharing my Insta handle on the chat.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Thank you so much.
And just one more thing from my side, if all of you, if you're comfortable, those of you comfortable, if you can just put your video on, I'd just like to take a picture, a screenshot.
Everybody, can you just put your video on for just a minute? Enactus members, please put your video on.
And I see a few boys here. Please, please share this information with all the ladies in your home, your friends, girlfriends, moms, chachis, masses, everybody. Yeah. It's all right. Smile. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me over. Thank you for being so patient and listening to it. And I hope that most of you did not sit just to get certificate, and you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, so at last, I'll just quickly invite our President Pragya for a small vote of thanks for ma'am.
Thank you so much, Muskan. It was a great, great session, ma'am. I really loved it. I would like to extend a heart full of gratitude to our principal, sir, who provided us this opportunity to go ahead and have this webinar. I'd really, really like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Neeti, ma'am. Ma'am, this was a wonderful and awakening session. It was really inspiring. Your work inspires us a lot. I'd also like to thank our faculty members, Chavi ma'am, Shweta ma'am. They have been a constant support to us. I would also like to acknowledge the gratitude to my fellow team members and my organizing team. You guys rock. And not the least, not the at the last, not the least, you guys who participated and joined this session. You guys inspire us. Thank you for being a part of this session. You guys can spread awareness. You guys are aware that for breast cancer aware, at least you guys are now aware. So go ahead and spread awareness. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Neeti.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. I hope everyone has filled the feedback forms, and the ones who have filled the feedback forms